CASSIUS, IFL TV, MTK Global. We're at the press conference here for HAYE and BELLEW. BELLEW and HAYE, should I say? BELLEW and HAYE, the rematch. I'm joined by Glenn McCRORY. How are you, mate?
Great to see you, Kug.
Glenn, are you a rival of mine now?
I'm never a rival of yours.
You're kind of doing your own thing, and like, I work
for BoxNation, which is a good outfit, and you know, it's great doing this sort of work. I can see how much you enjoy it. It's great being around the fights. It's what I've done all my life, so it's you know, I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Rivals, you know, competition, whatever. Well, listen, we're friends anyway, Glenn. Of
course we
are. What did you make of the press conference today, Glenn? It was a little bit different, obviously, from the last one we saw in Dorchester.
It had to be different. It had to be different, didn't it? Because David obviously has, you know, he can't come here and start shouting as much as he did last time, saying as much. He's got to eat humble pie, and hopefully, as he was doing, stay quiet and then do it in the fight, not in the press conference, not in the way. And you know, it's time to show what he can do as an athlete and as a fighter. And I think that's, you know, what the press conference was all about.
David came across in the first build-up very dismissive of Tony, whether that was for the build-up or David had generally thought that. Only David knows that. But this time around, he, in his head, will have to sort of give Tony a little bit more credit and respect.
You know what? I think he still probably is slightly dismissive of Tony. I think, you know, when he looks back, he's fought at a higher level. He's fought in bigger fights. He's a former cruiserweight champion of the world, heavyweight champion of the world, and I think deep down he doesn't quite think Tony Bellew should be in the ring with him, and I think that's the big problem. That is the big problem, and Tony knows that. Tony knows. So it's very hard to change. How are you going to change what's in there? So that's why I can't see there being that much change in the outcome.
One of the big questions ahead of December 17th, it will be about David's ankle, and will it hold up, and yeah, what condition that's going to be in going into the fight, especially if it goes into them later rounds as well. If
he gets to the fight, what shape he's gonna. I mean, you know, he'll want it in whatever happens. If he did that the first time, for me, I honestly, when I looked at, as soon as the TV came on and I saw him take his stance, I thought, what's he doing? I had a big wide stance. And then as the fight progressed on, I thought, and then we saw he's injured, I thought he was carrying that injury going into the ring. And the big problem is, you know, it's 5 years since Derek Chisora, his first, you know, his last meaningful fight, 7 years since Audley Harrison, he blew him away. 7 years. It's a long time. All he's doing is getting older. Your body can't, if his body couldn't go through the pressures and the stress 7 months ago, he's 7 months older. So it's the same stress, the same pain, the same, you know, and I just think that's where for me, that's where the problem is. He's been too inactive, too few fights, and it's very hard to then put your body through a torrid time to fight somebody who's been fighting regularly, you know, who hasn't had any inactivity, whose body is still fight ready.
Well, December 17th, we shall find out. Obviously, not long to go till then. So,
but I mean, the one thing that David HAYE has got, and Tony Bellew is well aware of that, is the one thing you never lose as a boxing man. You know that is your punch. So he's still got his punch. Can he get the fitness to anchor his feet, to get the stance right, to get into range, to get his punches off? If he can do that, he still has the capabilities of ending that fight with one punch.
Glenn McCRORY, thank you very much for talking to
Cheers,
IFL TV. Top man.
Rival.